Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. This article comes to you guys from cdnet.com. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So, the next problem for T Mobile, or the next hurdle that they're going to have to overcome, is going to be outgrowing the churn levels, right? So, the moves that T Mobile has been making, like you see here, T-Mobile giving loyal users a free line right now, right? They kind of did that twice. They did it for certain tenured accounts, and then they upped it to even more accounts that have been with T-Mobile longer. And then for those of you who followed the videos, they're now introducing retention offers, which has never been the case for T-Mobile. They even have a new loyalty plan that they can move you to. And what I also talked about on Sunday is T-Mobile is now also giving out credits for a extended amounts of time, right? Like 6 months up to a year, depending, right? So that tells me that's T-Mobile being reactionary. So the churn, right, has already happened, right? The churn elevation that's already happened. And that's why T-Mobile has made these moves, because they saw the churn go up. Now they're trying to stop the bleeding. They're trying to keep the churn from further increasing is what they're doing now. So the next problem now is they have to outpace and significantly outgrow the amount of people that they lost. That's one of the problems that Verizon runs into on a quarterly basis. When they post, like in the first quarter, they posted the losses. That doesn't signal that they didn't add customers. They did add customers. They just didn't add enough customers to offset the losses that they took. And for T-Mobile, that's very important because they cannot afford another quarter of not hitting estimates. You guys saw what happened in Q1. They were like 10,000 below estimates, and it hit the stock hard. So if they continuously not hit estimates, right, when they're based on growth, that's going to be a problem for the stock. So now that's going to be T-Mobile's next problem. Like, how do they outpace the amount of losses that they've taken and maybe continue to take? Because we don't know if these moves that they've implemented are going to work. We don't know if it's going to stop the bleeding entirely. We don't know, right? So T-Mobile's next quarterly earnings, which should be the end of June, is going to be very, very, very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see the churn levels, to see if these moves have helped stop the bleeding. Also, up until the end of the second quarter, are we going to see T-Mobile add more stuff? Right? We don't know. We just don't know how the market is perceiving T-Mobile right at this time. All we do know is T-Mobile is implementing moves to combat churn. That's all we know right now. And per the internal documents that were shared, right, they did not make it on, all of the info did not make it onto the articles, the public articles. But there are competitors that are really, really, really keeping T-Mobile on their toes, is all I'll say. So that's the next hurdle. That's the next big problem for T-Mobile. They now have to outpace growth so they can still post and beat estimates and have another raise and beat quarter. Because the problem is going to be, if they don't hit estimates this go around and they are slowing down on growth, right? They're going to have to eventually adjust the estimates for the annual guidance. Right now, that's 5.5, between 5.5 and 6 million postpaid ads for the year. If they have to lower that, that's going to tank the stock big time. So be on the lookout for T-Mobile to respond to competitive pressure. And like I said, if the moves that they've introduced, the reactionary moves, if that works, I mean, so be it. Then that works. But they're gonna have to offer more, right? Because these moves might slow down the bleeding, right? It might keep churn from going higher and keep more customers from leaving. But they still have to see if they're growing enough new customers coming in the door, port-ins from the switching pool, if there's enough coming in for them to feel comfortable that they will beat guidance, that they will keep their guidance that they set forth, and hopefully that they'll beat estimates. That's also something that T-Mobile has to look at as well. They have to look at the new lines that are coming in. And if that slowed, right, now you have churn going up. And if new customers coming in, if that's slowing down, then T-Mobile they just have to respond. They have to come out with crazy deals. Like I said, any phone, any condition, any plan, that's likely on the table. They have to be at least discussing it in these meetings, because they can't afford to not grow as quickly as they have been. Until they meet with the street, investors, board members, and they make a change where it's not a surprise, where they tell everybody, hey, look, our growth is going to slow. We're not going to grow at the same pace we have been. That is literally how they have to address the market. Until they do that, they have to continue to grow. They have to. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.